Greetings, family. Welcome to Magnets, Crystals, Pyramids. We have tonight, Wednesday, Mystic Elder Wisdom featuring Lalji Selassie. So I'll be backstage, Lalji. Do your opening invocation and let us listen in to the words, to the wisdom, to the encouraging techniques for your personal success. Lalji, can you hear me? Okay, you got it, bro. I'm going backstage. Lalji, I don't hear you. Make sure your mic is turned on. No sound. Get J Dean to help you out with the technical uh, challenge because we cannot hear you. Family, wherever you may be, post in the comments what part of the world you are listening from.
Can you hear me now?
Now we can hear you.
Great.
Okay.
All right.
All right, I'm backstage.
All right, my brother. Sagunath Maharaj Ki Jai. We do the prayer to our mighty I am presence, our God self. Baba, my great master present, which I am. I love, I adore thee. I give back unto thee the fullness of all creative power, all love, all wisdom. And through this power which thou art, I give thee full power to make visible my hands and use the fulfillment of my every desire. I no longer claim any power as my own, for I now claim thee, the only all-conquering presence of my home, my life, my world, and my experience. I acknowledge the full supremacy and command of all things, and as my consciousness is fixed upon an achievement, your invincible presence and intelligence take command and bring the fulfillment into my experience quickly, even with the speed of thought. I know thou art ruler over time, place, and space. Therefore, thou requires only now to bring the visible activity by every perfection. I stand absolute firm in the full acceptance of this now and forever, and I shall not allow my mind to waver from it. For at last I know we are one. Almighty I am. Family, I've been going through some of the material I've been reading for many, many, many years, and it amazes me how much I forgot. Just gathering information, just constantly gathering information. A great deal that I have used, but some things, it's like goes over your head after a while. It just seems like it just goes over your head. And I was looking at something here today, just before we locked on, and I always make notes. When I read something that's really high powered, just notes. Not that I don't make notes throughout the whole, book, whichever it may be, but when it's something I think that's really, really high powered. And I came across this, decree to bring the God present. No, how to burn up karmas, quickly. And this book that I'm reading it from is Ascended Master Instructions, Volume 4, and this is Saint Germain speaking. Volume 3 and 4 is him speaking. And he said something here that I was like, how simple and how powerful is this in relationship to karma and how you clean yourself of the things you've done that were incorrect, to put it nicely, incorrect karma and negative karma, sins. And he says, the individual, he says, explanation of cosmic karma. I wish to put before the student another very vital and important thing, which concerns human creations, the things that we do. The individual can call on the law of forgiveness and say to the mighty I am presence, dissipate and consume this wrong creation. This throws it back to the cosmic law for adjustment, wherein it is adjusted outside of the individual karmic activity. I thought, that's really deep. All I gotta do is ask God, please Dissipate, mighty I am present, dissipate and consume this wrong creation, and then don't do it again, of course. And 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 it is done. I'm looking at this book. Write down what you want. Decree for in harmony. Techniques for the inner sight. Never in the history of Earth has there been so much instruction for information given to the people of Earth. The power decree to repeat every day. Let's look at that. What is the power of decree that you should repeat every day? Use this every day. Beloved Saint Germain says, "Today I will stand guard, and I will not become so interested in the outer activities that it will not give me opportunity to receive the great radiance of the presence. God, govern and sustain me in the governing and mastery of the outer condition. Determine divine determination, divine will. One of the greatest, mightiest simple truths is to know that an unyielding determination for any specific accomplishment is the open door by which the inner strength flows out to its accomplishment. In our present era of activity, I think it is very well that students should understand that what has always been termed will by the instructor is but determination to hold to the light and the ever sustaining presence. When I was in my ashram, I'd like to change the subject now. When I was in the ashram, I used to think about when I was in India, we're in the jungle, we're in a powerful, powerful ashram. I used to think, there's powerful men and women there. I mean, they got spiritual powers. They really was in there. I thought, how do we get like that? How do we be this? How do we get to attain? And I just started seeking and researching as much information as I could to figure it out. Excuse me. I started looking at their body types. I started looking at, phenotypes and so forth and so on. And I came across something I just found remarkable. It was basically how many of these masters became masters. It was always happening before they were born. And what I discovered, it was their parents. Their parents were the leading cause of them being who they were. Because their parents were high powered. If they weren't masters, they were pure devotees, good people who, like this, what's the master who wrote the book, Autobiography of Yogananda? He said his parents only had sex to have a child, right? And that's one of the things you could do. But as I started sciencing these things, I actually came across the formula how or the techniques of how Jesus came into being. And as I discovered more and more and more, I discovered that his Mary conceived immaculately, but her mother conceived immaculately, and so did her mother. And I thought, whoa, what is this? So as I got deeply, deeply into it, I came across and I said to myself, imagine if native black people of America were to use this formula to help our people, because nobody wants to go to war. I see no benefit in us killing somebody to get our freedom or recoup our land or any number of other things. I thought, imagine if we became ascended masters or masters, saintly beings in mass. And when I say in mass, I don't mean millions of us, maybe just 1,000, which is a great number, right? And I go, man, that would be that would be that would be something very, very deep. And so I just started researching, putting this together, putting that together. You know, initially the philosophy and of why one would want to do it. and then the preparation period, the womb empowerment period, you know, the actual birth period, what's done at the birth, and then the education of that child as he moves forward in life. And especially for the Native Black Americans from America, I thought, you know, if we were that powerful, if we were in mass Christ-like beings, or semi-Christ-like beings, you know, or at least men and women and no longer humans who are monsters. They do, a human being does whatever they want. And we got to always remember, Jesus said, I am the Son of Man. He didn't say I'm the son of humans. He said, I am the Son of Man, right? And it is a man that can attain to the God capture state. And when I say man, I mean man and woman. And I thought, imagine if that's the very least that we are. A man doesn't tell a lie. You know, a man, woman doesn't tell a lie. They're righteous in their very being. They're righteous. We are righteous in our very being, right? But a human do whatever they want. So I thought, you know, how could you get this information to your people? Well, you know, the idea of it was to um, write a book, market it. So I wrote a book, and it was real technical. I was in a study group with Dr. Ben, John Henry Clark, Leonard Jeffries, these high-powered people, and I was writing a book. And as I was looking at what I wrote, what I created, I said, "Who's going to read this? This is just these guys in this group. They would read it, you know, but someone else, no." You know, we've been trained to be boring. We've been trained to find intellectual information, scientific and truthful. We've actually been trained to be didactogenic. You know, where you know, after formal education, you don't want to pick up another book again in life. And and I thought, well, how could you reach the people with this concept that if they, you know, feel like they really want to do something for their people, that they could do this. And a storyline came to me, and the storyline happened to be true. And so it was the genocide of the black man on the planet Earth. There's even articles in the New York Times saying that that's what they're going to do. Truth be told, and what to do about it. And so I was like, that's interesting. That's a real interesting point of view. That's an interesting way to come about it. So the storyline came as I started writing this, what ends up to be a novel. This guy who lived in an ashram, right, in India, and his guru passed away, and he dies. You know, the guru passed away, and this devotee who loved his guru, um, he died of a broken heart. And when he passes away, he goes to this meeting where he's taken to this meeting. You know, an ascended master meets him, and he says, "I got to take you to this meeting." And you know, he kind of like argue with him a little bit. I want to go with my guru. My guru has passed away. The scriptures say that you're going to go to your guru, right? So he says, "I want to go to my guru." Even make a long story short, the ascended master says, "You know, your guru told me that you was going to be a hard case." And then he looked at me, goes, "Yeah." You know, and he says, "Yeah, you got to go to this meeting, man. I'm trying to take you somewhere." And he says, "All right, I'll go." So when he gets there, what happens is there's like a couple of thousand people from uh, ascended masters in our scriptures and so forth and so on. They're there. And, you know, they're talking about the various things that are happening to Black people throughout the world. Malcolm X, when he comes there, he hears Malcolm X speaking. You know, they give him a seat. That, you know, you sit there and listen to what's going on. There's about 2,000 people that masters and their disciples and like that. And it's like, and so he's listening to what's going on. Malcolm X, he's giving a talk. Then, you know, various people from our ancient times and even contemporary times, they're talking about what's happening to Black people around the world. And they tell, as the story goes on, this guy, the Supreme Lord of the universe, comes to this meeting. And he said, what we got to do is we got to start teaching our people, instead of being satanic in our sexual abilities or our sexual mores, our sexual habits, we got to be divine. And we need a candidate to get this knowledge codified and spread it to the people. And so they picked this guy who just died, and they sent him back to life. And he's going. The God hooked him up. Where he's getting the master teachers in the world to learn this knowledge. One of the various knowledgeable techniques that he had to learn was the art and science of human sexuality. To a large degree, this is a man's realm. You know, women want to be experienced, and men need to be experienced. But the art and science of human sexuality, the Tao of human sexuality or Tantra, these are things that a man should know, right? I'm speaking mostly to men, but it seems like with this thing right here, but it seems like it's the women that's most interested in. But I'll still tell you, brothers, because it's that 1 in 100,000 women that's very interested in what I have to say. So that's one of the first things you want to learn. You know, you definitely want to learn all that you were taught when you were a young kid by your parents, right and wrong, so forth and so on. But if you go to get the knowledge from a spiritual master, then you learn major, major, major secrets, right? This is me thinking, how can we move ourselves, our race of people, way beyond what was ever expected of us? Because I'm looking at this Sodom and Gomorrah type reality that we are in here in America, right? And I hope that, the YouTube is not censoring, yet even that. But and I'm saying to myself, there is no way we're gonna be great like that. We're gonna rise up like that. That ain't happening, right? So the man has to learn how to take a woman to the ninth orgasmic level through the Tao of human sexuality and Tantra. Because one is not enough, right? Because the Tantra is going to teach you how to worship your wife, your legitimate spouse, as the goddess of the earth. And just the fact that you will be learning this type of knowledge in a righteous way, not to be bump, getting to get, right? You understand that yourself is the God within, right? And so this is a skill because most women conceive without even an orgasm, which is detrimental to the child coming in, right? It doesn't give them everything. And but there's the preparation period because I got ahead of myself. There's the preparation period before that. Part of that preparation is learning uh, uh, the art and science of human sexuality, but developing yourself through the power of the spoken word, mantras, uh, chanting, or singing to God, meditation, um, scriptural study. So you can be guided by the knowledge that the masters have left behind. And that's one of the things. So you want to prepare. The guy wants to prepare, and the woman wants to prepare. First, they need to have this in mind that this is what they like to do. Just like Anna and Imran did when they decided they was going to create Christ. And they knew that it was a 3-generational process. So, like we've seen this often. A person is a actor, a singer, or a carpenter, or whatever their profession was that they lived and they spent decades in. And when they had a child, their child had a great propensity toward that skill. If they had another child, that child would then be a genius in that skill. This is the same thing with spirituality. Only thing spirituality is taken to a whole nother level, right, of power, right? Because you're not in power. You're not bringing in genius of an instrument. You're bringing in the genius of the spirit within, which is already super duper powerful. So they decide, look, I got to get a wife. She's got to decide. I got to get a guy. So how are we going to pick that guy? Where do we find that girl, right? How does she look? What does she do? Where would she hang out? Well, such a person would hang out in a spiritual environment, whether it's a temple, an ashram, a holy place of some sort, and it would be true. And this you can see. You can see this. And then you need to get a picture of that person, man or woman. Then make a list of all the qualities that that person should have, right? And I did this once. No, I did this when I was younger. After I came from the ashram, I said, I want to get married. I want to build a family. And got this picture. I got this list. I wrote all these wonderful, lofty things down on the list that this woman should be. And I start contemplating, meditating every day. So you get a chance to start thinking, on another level. And I said to myself, I said, Lau, if you were to meet a girl that matched that list, and she happened to be a friend of yours, and she came up to you and said, Lalji, I know you know a lot of guys. I want to get married, but I want a good man, and you know a lot of good guys. You know, can you help me? I had to say to myself, if an event like that did happen, would I give myself to that girl who I might really like or even love, right? From afar, not having a relationship with, maybe even just checking it out. I had to ask myself, do I compliment this girl who meets everything on my list? And I had to say to myself, no, I don't. I don't. And because she'd be a great friend to me, I wouldn't give me to her at that stage of development in my life. And this is what each one of us as men need to do. We need to make ourselves that list, have that picture of our ideal woman, and to begin to complement everything on that list. This is the beginning, right? This is the preparation stage. Why? You want to bring in a divine child. You want to bring in a child with a total call of mind, total recall of mind, someone who has an absolute memory. Don't forget anything. This is a God power, right? And it can be attained. And you want to call on the very gods themselves to imbue that child with certain qualities, right? Now, I want y'all to understand what I'm talking about is bringing in Messianic family, Messianic population, a process that will change everything in our lives, right? And when I say our lives, I mean the lives of the American community, right? Because we are so mixed now. I mean, there's so many black people I know that look white that don't make sense anymore, right? So this is what we're talking about. We're not talking about let's get racial. We're talking about, you know what? Let's bring down God. Let's bring down God and his disciples, God-like beings, as our sons and daughters. This was the concept. This is the concept. There's only going to be so many people that's going to want to do this or can do this, right? So you're preparing yourself. You're preparing yourself to complement the list that you want in that woman or in that man. And you pray to God to ask for guidance to get to that place, to get to this this being that's going to be the person you build family with, and give up the concept of, I'm just going to get me a little piece now, and next thing you know, you're in court. The father's gone, the mother's abandoned, the child is abandoned. This is going. This is destroying us now. It's not going to destroy us. It is destroying us now. And this subject that I'm talking about is extremely esoteric. It is not common by any stretch of the imagination. But we need to get esoteric. We need to start saying to ourselves, you know what? I got to be cause in the matter. I got to be the one that says, it stops with me. I'm going to become the best I could be. I'm going to be better than I could be. Whatever I thought was good, I'm going to take it there, and then I'm going to ask God to show me how to take it beyond there. And God will be glad to do it. He will lead you to the right books. You'll run into the right person. You'll even have an opportunity to meet a spiritual master. They may come for you. They may say, hey, look, we got this opportunity for you. And the next thing you know, there it is for you. I'd like to tell you about another incident where I wanted to take a remote viewing course. Those who don't know what remote viewing is you end up bilocating. You know, it's not astral projection or etheric projection. It's like you're here now. You can be here and you can be there, and you're still an ordinary. Well, you wouldn't really be ordinary, but anyway, I wanted to take the course called remote viewing. And as I start talking to the woman there, the course was like filled. I couldn't get in. It was going to be 6 months before they did another one. Whatever the consequence, this was a while ago. It was closed, and I just started talking to her like a man to a woman, friendly, type thing. She understands my dent of mind and intellect, and she goes, "You know what? You might be able to take this course on this round. We have a scholarship for someone just like you." And they gave me a scholarship into the Monroe Institute that was super duper high power. There was CIA, there was NSA, there was FBI, there was all level of people on the highest level taking this course. So y'all need to understand these people have that ability. Especially if you want to enter into some crimes, you need to understand they can remote view back and forth too. They can remote view back to another time or forward in another time. So if you think you're real slick as a criminal, you're not. And any of my brothers that's out there that may be listening to me that is in the streets, making doodle dumb dollars, you're in a game you're in a cat and mouse game that the cat created. So word to the wise. Let's get back to what we're really talking about here. So that can happen to you. A divine being can come and say, come with me to my retreat. Come with me to my ashram. Come with me to South America. Come with me to Africa. Come to me to India. Come with me to Rakosi Mansion in Europe. You don't know. If your intentions are high, believe me, uh, you will be noticed. You will be recognized. And if you really on it, if you really try to make yourself a being of light, God will see you and take advantage of you wanting something higher than the average human being. All right, boom. So you're doing your practices, and you're preparing yourself for the life you want to bring in, right? And through the grace of God, you find that man, you find that woman, and you'll both have the same idea, or you have the idea and you introduce her to the woman, and it appeals to her. She's just really happy about or uh, open to the idea of bringing in a divine child, and that's how she's living too, right? If this woman has been corrupted with uh, what's being put on men and women here in America, both of them are just, for the most part, I don't want to say unworthy, but the right word is not coming to me right now, but it's on the lines of unworthy. It's the Sodom and Gomorrites are not worthy for this task. And that's what they're making many of us here. But in the same way that the women that listen to this and are interested in anything that I'm saying is 1 in 100,000, it is no different than the men. The ones that would take up this mantle, that would take up this task to bring in a powerful children that could change the whole world, right? There's one of them 100,000 too. You know, when I think about it, he's one in a million. He's one in a million. So it ain't gonna be easy to find that person, but you can find that person. So you prepare yourself. You're preparing yourself. You're setting yourself up a daily schedule. Uh, it would be excellent if you even lived in a holy place, in a temple, a mosque, in an ashram. I mean, like an ashram or a retreat, and you're learning secrets, and you got a daily discipline, and you're really giving yourself over to God to empower and perfect yourself on a man woman level. You're in the process of preparing yourself to be divine. You are living in a divine life. As you go to bed at night, like some people will count sheep, so to say, to go fall asleep, you will say the mantra. You're Muslim, Anallah, 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 just over and over again till you fall asleep. If you in the Sanskrit religions, I don't like using the term Hindu because it really doesn't have a real meaning. Um, uh, you know, Hariram, 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 or Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, and fall asleep saying the mantra. It will go on through the night, and you'll be getting great. Oh man, you'll be protected. You'll just, and the mantra still's going on. It's purifying you while you sleep. You have a daily schedule of repeating the mantra during the day in the ashram while you're doing your work. You know, you do it in silence. You repeat the mantra. You're doing work in the ashram or the retreat. You are doing it. When there's only 3-4 hours of work in the ashram, then you got time to study. You study the divine knowledge. You start imbibing it. Then being in the ashram, you'll meet people that will rub you the wrong way, and you'll end up developing humility after a while. What will happen with the humility is it will eliminate fear out of you. You're going to be doing your meditations. There's going to be some experiences in your meditations that are going to be completely frightful because you're humble. You know that God will protect you. That's going to be it. You are protected by God. You ain't got to worry about your karate skills and nothing like that. God is going to protect you. Because if the demons come, your karate ain't going to do you a bit of good. So you're humble and God will protect you, right? And you're purifying yourself. You're purifying yourself. You can wake up in the morning, you're so pure, your breath won't even smell. You know, you go to the bathroom, you're eating pure food, you really living that pure life. Another scent will come out. Another type of scent will come out of you, even when you go in the bathroom to defecate. When you stay celibate, which is a very powerful purifying modality, your semen will not just be white, it will be like a white golden thing. This is what will happen. Now we're talking about power, power seminal fluids that you're retaining, you're holding. You can take haki taki, so it purifies you and shuts down the energy flowing below the heart, and then these fluids start rising up inside of you, up through the shushumna and into the brain, right? Very powerful. After a while of you repeating the mantra over and over and over again, it goes off automatically. You might have to do 35 million, 45, 50, depends on your karma, maybe 100 million. But what we have learned uh, from the ascended masters and the masters, like Swami Sivananda Rishikesh in the Himalayan mountains, he has an ashram there. It's a nice little ashram. He says if you repeat the mantra 130 million times, God will come to you and say, ask a boon. At that time, you could say, Lord, I want to bring in a divine child. You could ask for anything. You're already in a very high state. You could ask for anything, but this is one of the things you could ask for, right? Of course, the choice would be yours. Maybe that's exactly what you want to do, being that you're on a mission to bring in a divine child. Now, as I'm talking about this, I want everybody that's listening, I'm talking for you. And if you're beyond the child raising time, you can tell this to your daughter or your son if they're interested. See, people that's listening to Hank's show are interested in spiritual things. That's why me talking about this is not above your head. Okay, so you get to that point, now I'm not saying that you have to wait, but I will tell you this. If you want to repeat the mantra 25,000 times a day, you can do this in about 8 hours, depending on the mantra. Like Om Namah Shivaya, that's the 5-syllable mantra. Hari Om, that's 3 syllables right there. Hari Om, takes a little less time. But in Shivananda's book called Japa Yoga, which means the repetition of mantra, right? He breaks down the whole science and he tells you, 130 million times or 136 million times you repeat the mantra, God will come, say, ask a boon. You can ask for anything, right? For me, at this point in life, I want to ask to be ascended master and to never have to be in this mortal state. I could be in the body, but I don't never want to have to be in a mortal state, right? And you could ask for that divine child. Lord, send me the woman so I can build a family of nothing but divine children. There are many stories about people who have done this, many. And so, you know, now that almost that guarantees it. First, you got a guru, then you got God saying, "Ask a boom." This is powerful, but it doesn't have to be that intense or at all. But I want to say something about this mantra before I move on in the subject. In 15 years, you can do 125, 136 million, or 130 million japa. One of the other, 36 and 136, 130 in 15 years. So if you're let's say you're 20 and you decide you want to do this, by the time you're 35, you're good. Let's say you're 35. By the time you're 50, you're good. Of course, this wouldn't work for a woman because we can have children, you know, much longer than they can. They got a time limit. We don't. And you could just simply become that divine being yourself without having to have a child. But I'm talking about men who want to build families and want to, because it doesn't have to necessarily be you bringing down the Messiah. This is a gargantuan goal. It could be that you want a child that's just going to empower humanity and be a guiding light or a powerful light in the world, right? There's levels of this. And on those levels, it's like you can prepare for 12 years to do this, or 15 years, right? You can prepare. Being celibate, of course, right? You can prepare. If you can't do 15 years, do 12. You can't do 12, do 9. If you can't do 9, do 7. If you can't do 7, do 5. If you can't do 5, do 3. Understanding that all of these levels of, you not being able to hold that seed all that time, uh, it doesn't empower the child. If you can't do even 3 years of being celibate, then do 16 months. If you can't do 16 months, go through the process if you're fortunate enough to learn it, because it's going to bring about some good results, but it's not going to bring down the Messiah. That you got to understand, right? You might have a child that has a powerful memory or is just good at heart, is a good person, which is still better than bringing demons in, which is what most of us are doing through our sexual mores, our sexual habits. Just bump, getting it on some liquor with some girl we met in a nightclub or something, you know, the whole opposite of what you really want to do to bring in your child. All right, boom. So you're looking for this person. You want to see what their qualities are. Do they have a mom and a dad? Did they have a mother and father? It gives you an idea of what they're programmed for, what you yourself may be programmed for. Um, what is their character? If it's a woman, how does she treat her father and her brothers? If it's a man, how does he treat his mother and his sisters? How does he treat other women? How does he treat everybody you see him interact with? What does others think of him? You know, is he educated? Does he have his own business as opposed to working somebody? Is he independent? Does he seek out knowledge? Right? So he can give that to the child and you, if you're a woman. I'm talking about how you want to pick out a man. If he's handsome and all like that, all that's cute and everything, but women don't turn. Women don't usually look at a man like a man look at a woman. For us, it's what we see. For y'all, to a large degree, it's what you hear. This is how nature set it up, and how powerful we appear to you. Now, if you see a man, you see he has knowledge. He's respected by his peers. He's independent financially. He has resources and influence, um, and he's kind and he's good. Well, now you got a man, but he should also be wise. He should not be a sucker for women. He should not be that kind of dude. That's not what you want to pass on to your sons or daughters. All right, and men understand that. Now, when we look at a woman, there are four classes of women in the Islamic system. You got the Padmini, and this is the type of woman that we're talking about. I could read about that, and maybe at another time I will. Uh, it is so worth reading even now. in my book right here called The Sufi Message by Hazrat Inayak Khan. Matter of fact, it is so important. We're going to read it. It's right here. This is the type of woman, or the types of women that they speak of, an esoteric knowledge of Islam, which is Sufism, right? You have the Padmini. Oh, this is not the one. You have the Padmini. You have the Chatrini. You have here it is. You have the Hastani and the Shankani. The Hastani and the Shankani is the worst type of women. In America right now, we have them in abundance, unfortunately. But the Padmini is the type of woman rarely seen anywhere on the face of the earth. But she does, every now and then, take birth in a great family. Let me read you the characteristics of these four type of women. Padmini is the ideal of the poet, fine and delicate and graceful in bearing, is made to be loved and is herself full of love. Her voice is low and soft. Her words are gracious. Her expression is sweet and gentle. She is admired by women and her friends, and her friendship and presence brings heaven on earth to men. When she makes a friend of a man, it is something of a venture or a step, taken as it were out of her own circle. For women are her natural friends, and to them she turns, both out of interest and for protection. In her heart is kept one beloved alone, whom nothing can remove. Her smile for him is as the unveiling of heaven, and her kind glance is a lasting impression. Her sweet words ring forever in his heart, and it is clear to all that she looks on him as her king. She is intelligent and simple, courageous and shy, patient and enduring, constant and firm in thought, and she is moved by all things that is tender and appealing. There is a fittingness in her behavior. She is love. She has a love of order, a respect for the age, patient and constancy in the face of difficulties. And she is self-denying and unassuming throughout all. Her affections are deep, and she finds them inexpressible. But her face, her features, her glance, every word and every movement shows a picture of beauty and devotion to the ideal. Rarely does one see a Padmini in life, and the man who wins her heart gains the kingdom of Indraloka, the heaven of the king of the gods. Now we talk about the Chatrini, a step down from Padmini. Chatrini is beautiful and brilliant. She is happy among women, but prefers the friendship of the opposite sex. She is affectionate by nature and desires affection. Her voice is music, a song, and there is poetry in her words. She is not so idealistic as Padmini, but she is refined and skilled in manners, and delightful and amusing in expressing her likes and dislikes. She herself loves but one man, though her manner may show others that they might perhaps be able to win her love too. She is vain and she is modest. She is bold and she is exclusive. She plays a hide and seek with her lover. Her swift glance, the lift of her eyebrows, her slightest gesture, a movement of a hand or a shoulder will convey her thoughts or moods as no words can. She expresses herself, she expresses her love and wins her lover's heart 1,000 times over, and one straight look of her eyes draw his soul to the surface. She is controlled by him, and yet controls. She is with him and yet apart. She is Maya, the elusive one. She is the pearl of his heart. This is the second level. You do see such women, all right? Now we come to Shankani. She is strong, rough, and determined. She is desperate in her likes and dislikes. Her heart is gained in a moment if her passions is touched. And she changes easily from one lover to another. Men are her preoccupation. But the love of any one man does not impress her deeply, nor could she, for her part, hold any man forever. She is forward in expressing herself, and she is emotional. She is little inclined to friendship with women, and they find her inconsiderate toward them. She is ungainly in figure. She's fat. She is unbalanced in mind. One day she will esteem a person highly. The next day her devotion is thrown to the ground like a stone and broken. Now we come to the worst type of woman, Hastani. Hastani is greedy and impulsive. Voice, movement, words all show that self-indulgence and passion predominate in her. She does not form any deep or serious attachments in life, and she will suddenly break a thread which unites with a word of anger or a hasty feeling of displeasure or disagreement. Her actions are untimely. There is an abruptness in her ways that jars peace or friendship. She does not appeal to women who are on their guard against her and fear her, nor does she prove a pleasant and lasting comrade, even to her own mate. From the ideal of Padmani to the ideal of Hastani, there is seen to be increasing force in the power of expressing emotions, but also a lessening of the capabilities of holding any lasting attachments. Unfortunately for us in America, the last two women are bound here. So you have an idea as a man what type of woman you need to pick. You already given an idea of for a woman what type of man you need to pick. Or did I say that vice versa? Men, this is the type of woman you're looking for. The Padmini, the Chatrini could be elevated, right? The Hastani and the Shankani and Hastani, you want to stay away from at all costs. You don't want to touch them. You don't want to have sex with them. You don't want to have friendship with them. You want to be away from them at all costs. All right. So you pick that mate, right? And you're prepared together for a certain amount of years. You get married, right? She has to be your legitimate spouse. He has to be your legitimate husband, right? You get married and you're preparing together. Now you set aside the most auspicious day, the most auspicious time and day to conceive this child. And it's not between the hours of 12 and 3 o'clock. Not a good time, right? Even the day, the constellations, all this adds in to how powerful this spirit that you're going to bring it down will be if you add this in, right? Now, I already said the man has to be adapt in the art and science of human sexuality so he can take his mate, his wife, to the ninth orgasmic level where they will have a mutual orgasm. Because men, we're like fire. We can have an orgasm like that if we want. Women are not. They're like water. You got to heat them up, right? Plus, there are techniques that you should know that would just excite a woman on that level. The major technique is your love for her. All right. So you come together on this auspicious day at the most auspicious time. After you pray to the gods and God, and you say this ritual that it's relatively elaborate that I have in my book that it'll be published at the end of this month. That you could say a holy ritual, and during this holy ritual, what you will be doing is you will be making love with mantras out loud. JD, we're making love with mantras out loud. And at the moment of mutual orgasmic expression, this is a both. Can you give me my Alex Gray book? It's on that back bookshelf back there, the one with all the pictures in it. The old one is kind of beat up because I use it a lot. When you're doing this, what forms? Well, as soon as you begin the process, or you're asking God to come in, you asking the angels, to God, and all the gods to come with all their qualities to imbue their qualities into your child. You do this before you even set up to do the holy ritual of love, right? So you've already prayed for them, Lord, do this. And you could do powerful chants like the Guru Gita or other chants from various other, from various other systems. Powerful chants, thank you. Whether it's Buddhist, it doesn't matter. Vedic, Christian, you do these things, right? And your system should be as pure and clean as something like this, right? You're ready. Your chakras are alight. They're on fire and they're spinning rapidly, right? So as you sit and you're making this love, what begins to happen is your energies merge, right? You're creating a vortex. And this vortex is extremely powerful. It's an energy that's merged that looks like a tornado. And this tornado energy, this energy that looks like a tornado is centered in the middle of you both. The moment this kiss is brought into existence, the matrix begins to set up. And we're talking now about the holy ritual of love, right? And there is a matrix. Let me show you what this matrix looks like as you're making love. Truly, you're making love. This is the matrix. Where's my hand? That's the matrix. And what happens as you make love, as you two are making love, right? That matrix sets up, and there's a sound. This, like I'm telling you, this tornado of energy comes down to a point, like as if it's a pencil point or a pinpoint, and it has a sound that's electric, and it's literally scripting the life of the child that's coming in. And if you had the ability to hear it, so if you're pure enough, it sounds something like this. You know, imagine electric time. He will be God conscious. The mantra is playing at his conception. He'll be a great man, woman. He'll be a Messiah. Have total call of mind. Everything about that child is coming in is going to be scripted at the time of conception. It's going to be scripted. This will be the matrix of that child. This is what that child is going to end up being. What's already here. Nothing can stop that. So now you're not playing. You in the house now. You crack a lack and you taking it to the butter. No bread. All right. Matter of fact, you taking it to the ghee. You ain't playing. And so as the woman gets to the point where she's about to have this super orgasm, you release with her. Because what you have, what mantras on your lips, both of y'all out loud, what you have when you do this is the word made flesh. This is serious secrets. These are serious, powerful secrets that I'm dropping right now. The moment you do this, you start treating each other with intense love. Never no argumentation, because the woman at this point is in a symbiotic state with that child. You don't ever want to upset her. You don't ever want to put her in any kind of distress, right? In regards to the man, all of his work had to be done before conception. After conception, all he can do is help that woman, serve her to be happy, healthy, uh, and anything she will need. Your task is over. Now it's her task. It's her task to listen to scriptures, to read scriptures to the child, to understand she's in a symbiotic state with that child, to talk to it with love, to to if you go to sleep and you want to put a mantra on and just put it right on the womb of the child through a cassette or something like that, so that the child is hearing this. If you want to teach the child the latest form of physics that you can buy from someone, some scientist, some great scientist that is on tape, you put that on right on the belly of the child so that it hears it, you know. And the same way that Superman was coming from Krypton to Earth, you can start empowering that child in the womb, because it's coming from some heavenly realm into Earth, because he ain't here. He's coming from some heavenly realm. And all that I just told you opens up a portal. Imagine a portal of light coming down, Imagine a portal of light coming where that matrix is happening, where that Holy Spirit can enter. Now we're talking serious. Where that Holy Spirit can enter. Remember, this child is, you're making love for the purpose of creating a child, which changes the whole matrix from the beginning. You've done all kind of things. You scripted the right day, the right time, the right worship to offering the God to come and protect and enter into the child too, right? Your own God, mighty I am presence, of course, is right there. And you're asking for this, right? To benefit this child right here. You and that woman should have taken initiation from a Siddha master so that you are not ordinary anymore, right? You're not playing, all right? So now the child is conceived. Now comes the womb empowerment. The womb empowerment preparation time, which is no dead animals. You can't murder or kill an animal. And oh, excuse me. Sorry, my freedom of preach has been breached. Sorry, please forgive me. YouTube, taker of this freedom of speech, forgive me. You can't unalive an animal, season up their blood for gravy, and think you're having, powerful nourishment. You're not. You're not. Dead animals can't be part of your diet. You have to eat pure vegetarian food. Both of you. This is the type of diet you need to have. You can't overeat, can't undereat. Pure food, pure thoughts. If the mother and father argue, it's the child that gets the black eye. And if it's in the womb, it sticks. In the same way that you teach a child once it's born any kind of skill whatsoever, music, art, science, any kind of skill when they're little, and the younger they are, the more powerful and more adept they're going to be in that skill. Well, now take that inside the womb and intensify that 10 times more. Everything that's learned in the womb, that child is going to be a genius. It's just that simple. Simple fact is, all children are geniuses from birth. From birth, they're just all geniuses, and they're telepathic. That's how they pick up a language. Now, if you want your child to learn 10, 12 languages or like that, play them on the womb while they're in on the womb, your wife's womb, while they're in the womb. And when they're born, keep them in an environment where people are talking in different languages. Europe is pretty good for that. Africa is excellent for that, because in Africa, the average person I met there spoke 5 to 10 languages. When I was in Europe, the average person there spoke 3 to 5 languages, many 7 languages. These two continents, people are polyglots all over the place. That means they know multiple languages. In South America, 2 languages generally people know, English and Spanish. But a Renaissance person speaks multiple languages. That's one of the skills they have. They speak multiple languages. All right. You can give that to your child. All right. You can give many things to the child in the womb. And when they come out, you can set up their life. Don't put them in any school. Don't put them in any school whatsoever. in this world and especially in America. Let's get into why. The reason why is with all these families breaking up, the child is hurt. When you send that child to school, that child is bullying other kids because he's hurt inside. He's hurt inside. He's damaged already because mom and dad broke up. The center of his life has been broken up. You want to homeschool that child, and it will be so far advanced than other children. It's amazing. It is literally amazing. So that's going to have to be another process you're going to have to look into. A child be so more advanced than the average child. You don't even want other children to be around them unless they're also homeschooled, where their parents are together and they've taken that child's education very, very seriously. When I was homeschooling my children, I wanted them to go to college, at 9 years old. The oldest was 12, the other two were 9. And any college I went to, there was, hey, sure, we'll take your kid. And I was like, I had them in John Jay College. I was in New York. New York's an excellent place to homeschool a child because there's so many institutions that will take your child to educate them, and not schools. I don't care if it's the best schools in the world, 50,000 a year, because I had my kids in these schools, and they ruined one of them. They ruined the other one was beautiful, right? But still, they wouldn't do as good as mommy and daddy's love. You have to worry about that. Have to worry about your child being bullied. And now you have to worry about your child being murdered in these schools. One of them so bad off, they come to school to murder the teacher and 5, 6, 10 kids, whatever they can do. And this is not common. This year alone, there's been over 200 murders, killing, unalivings in the schools by kids. So not where you want your child to be. So, you're raising this child. That this child should have skills. The education should be to a large degree skill-based, and it should be fun. They should know instruments. They should know all kinds of sports, martial arts, all kinds of sports. I mean, you name it, of course, education, the child will embrace and just be excellent in education because they're living to learn, especially in that young age. Learning is fun to them. And don't take it out of the fun realm because then it'll be something they don't want to do. But as long as it keeps being fun, and sports are fun, all kind of fun things you could learn. Have that educational system set up so the heart of it is fun and the child will flourish like nobody's business. Now let's look at another part of this educational system. If you do decide to put them in a school, they want your kid, a child, to sit in a chair while a teacher lectures them, and don't move and don't talk, while a teacher lectures them for hours. For hours. And if they don't sit in that chair, and if they do talk, kids, now they're bad kids. Now they want you to come into school to talk about them, not sitting in that chair and talking or any kind of other foolishness that they label our children with. And here's another one. And this is the slickest one of all. If the teacher can't educate the child, in other words, if the teacher is not a good teacher, they make the child wrong. If it wasn't by design intentionally, it would be pathetic. But you have to congratulate them on being so successful at dumbing down your child. You have to congratulate them because it is not by accident. It is on purpose. And the system is designed to do exactly that to this genius that you give them. You need to look at that system as an enemy. Then you need to say to yourself, why would I give my divine child into the hands of my open enemy? These are things we generally do not think about. But if we don't do what I'm saying now, and you put your child in that school or a school, and he comes back or she comes back with all kind of characteristics that they're getting from other kids who parents weren't there to teach them better or who hurt them. It's almost like putting your child in the church, to learn about God, and he has to deal with the pedophiles that are in there, that are rampant, right? So there's things to do and there's things to not do. Now let me tell you why I went into this conversation with y'all. Before I even go into that, you should be training your child to earn money while they are children too, for fun, all in fun, everything in fun. They will love it. They will love it. All right. So let me tell you why I'm telling y'all this, and this is for everybody. This is not for Native Blacks or Africans or any Latinos, Asians. Don't care. Don't matter. You are all the children of God. If you want to empower your country, this is one of the ways to do it. First, you're empowering your family, right? Then you're empowering your community with this job and yourself. Then you're empowering your city and your state, and then the country at large. If we keep moving in the way we are moving now, or allowing ourselves to be subjected to this satanic Sodom and Gomorrah reality, what's going to happen to places like where we all live here in America is exactly what happened in Sodom and Gomorrah. This is a history, and history has a tendency, and that tendency is to repeat itself. But truly, what it was intended for, history intention for mankind was to let you know what you do as a nation and what you do not do, and how you will flourish and how you will fall. What will be the things that will cause your nation to fall, and what would be what things that you could do that actually, in this hellish world, create a breakaway civilization, a civilization of love and light. This can happen. It has happened. I would tell you who did do it, but I know that this guy who did it, if I was to say his name, oh, he's going to be banned. We might kill him. I mean, we might unalive him, right? But it's been done. And it's been done just before the baby boomers. And it's been done other times before that, too. And these civilizations are living in the interior of this planet. And there may be another whole side of this world that they keep away from us even seeing. What we need to understand at this point in time, that is a very perilous time, that if we don't get our stuff together, the forces of nature will turn on us like they have done in the past. There'll be floods, there'll be tidal waves, there'll be hurricanes, there'll be flash fires. These are intelligent, conscious beings. The earth is not dirt. There's a goddess of the earth. You see? We are benefited by the gods. They serve us until we go wrong. And then they go, you know what? I'm not serving that no more. Wash them away. It's like a cancer on the earth. But we can turn it around. This is no longer the 11th hour. To be honest, y'all, this is like 11:57 if we're lucky, or 11:58. I don't even want to say it's 11:59. It might be. We need to change. We need to go for the gusto in God. Why? Because that's what we are. We didn't take this birth here on this planet. This planet is the only planet in this solar system that is a school for God consciousness. It was a gift to be brought here, even though it is the most wicked planet in the universe. It is easy to attain God consciousness here than almost anywhere in the universe. When the gods leave their heavens and their lifespan is up, to us it seems like they're immortal. I'm talking about another class of gods. When they leave that heaven, because there are the immortal gods, and when they leave that heaven, they want to come here. Why? because they can attain God consciousness here. They can attain immortality here. They can become a siddha. They can become an ascended master. No more death. No more going from body to body to body. No more of that. Right? So understand the very fact that you got a human birth is a boon. The very fact that you are on earth, which is a school of ascension, is a boon, a great gift. Now, I'm real clear. Most people don't understand it, but you understand it now. It's been brought to your attention now. Whoever's listening, you'll just heard it. And believe me, God will bring to your attention. You heard that. That brother told you what your situation was on earth. There's a program. I'm going to bring this. I just found out about this podcast on this influencer on YouTube. That all he does is he gathers people. He invites people on his show who has had after death experiences, or I don't know how to say it any other way. Please forgive me. I'm trying to, it's not unaliving. It's, this is now a medical term, right? And they have gone to hell. They didn't go to heaven. They went to hell. And they came back with their stories. The people who have gone to hell, and you'd be surprised how many they are. They know they're telling truth. And they're telling truth in things that are just unimaginable, And most of the people on this planet, that's where they're off to. You have to take yourself. You have to take stock of yourself and begin to say, look, I'm going this way. I know I went wrong, but I can change now. And it ain't gonna be easy because of what all the wrong you've been doing, however many years you've been doing it, it's still a residue within you. But even within you, you've created beings inside of you that are personality traits that are live conscious beings like Sybil, this woman who split. Well, as an ego, you split from your God self. You split because of the parents you had who treated you bad, or the bullying you had in school. And then, it came a point where you just had to say, I'm a bad mama jummer from Beekman Street. You mess with me, you bound to get beat. And you created this personality where you made people fear you. You created a personality which is not you. It's an ego. It's a personality that you created. But now bust this. You created more than one. How could you do that? You are a God being. You have the power through your mind to do just that. So we're about up right about now. And I want you all to take into consideration, if there's any questions, and or if we have time for any questions, please ask them. If I have the ability to answer them, I will. Uncle Hank is behind us backstage. If there's anybody that got any questions, let them put forward. And if I know enough to be able to answer them, I would enjoy it. My brother, you there? No. You there, Hank? I wish there were questions, but I think Hank got to be in the back. I'd love to talk to you about it. I'd love to get an insight on what my brothers and sisters think about the conversation we just had tonight. Oh, for mantras and decrees and prayers, if you're like, you can call me on this number. I'm old school, so a call I found to be much more advanced. or you can email me at lselassie2 at AOL.com. No, gmail.com. It's running across here on the bottom. And like I said, if there's anyone who has any questions, I'd love to fellowship with you in regard to what you may think, or even a comment. If you got any comments, I'd like to fellowship with you. Oh, there's something I didn't say. When you do this process, you must keep it extremely secret. While you're doing it, you must keep it extremely secret. If you keep it secret, you keep it safe. And you do know what happened when they found out that Jesus had been born. You don't want everybody to know that your child, your Messianic child, has been born. You want it secret, even from your own family. It should be a secret. Call Hank for me. Yeah. There is more to this, but I so much would love to indulge my brothers and sisters with a conversation on this line. How can we genuinely, super powerfully empower our country, our race, our family? Okay. All right, I heard that. All right, so we can't ask any questions because I'm not behind stage, so I can't get any questions. And Uncle Hank is out in the field. So what I'm going to do is give a closing prayer. And there's something that I wanted us to, I'm going to give a closing prayer. I do the prayer to prevent war every day. And if we can get 1 million of us to do this prayer, oh man, the sinister forces will be hard pressed against the will of the people. I have a high power book. It's called The 7 Sacred Flames. Very excellent book. It's teaching from the Ascended Masters. Highly recommend y'all, if you can, get this book. It's been out of print for a little while. Prayer for the 3rd healing ray. I think I want to do the 5th ray. Prayer for the 5th ray. Yes. Invocation to the flame of healing. Beloved, I am present. Beloved angels of healing, flame. Beloved Mother Mary, Archangel Raphael, beloved Hilarion, and all beings of light serving on the ray of healing. I come now. Let me show you a picture so you'll get an idea what this looks like. All right. I come now before the flame to request healing in God's name. I stand with my God presence to be liberated and healed from all physical burdens through the healing light and love. I also ask to be healed from all etheric scars, mental and emotional traumas from this life and from the past. Flame of healing of purest green, bless my form and make me whole. Pour form into my soul and enlightenment for my mind. I am God's perfection, manifest in body, mind, and soul. I am God's healing light, flowing to make me whole. I am the master presence, charging all my bodies with love. Beloved God presence, as I transform my consciousness, let heaven perfection manifest in my daily life. Send thy ray of healing upon my soul. I am Christ's presence, charging me with thy radiant healing light until I become the full manifestation of that light. Beloved I am, beloved I am, beloved I am. Amen for those.
Okay, Lalji, you got a question here. Pardon the delay. I was trying to use my phone, which I had a challenge with. Okay, we got what is an affirmation for healing trauma from childhood? Words of power. I am words of power. Do you have one that will help with
I have,
healing?
yes, and yes, I do. I could give you a long one. I could give you a short one.
Start with a short first. In all martial arts, you start short form first.
Okay. Yes, you do. If you're a Muslim, an Allah, an Allah, an Allah, calling out the name of God. If you're in the Sanskrit religions, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, or Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. I can give them to you because I was initiated with them. So I can give them to you with power. There are many
Yeah, well, just give them one tonight that's easy in English.
in English.
Like
I got
Ho'oponopono. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. Or invoke the purple flame. Tell them about the purple flame.
Violet Flame. But here's one that it's simple and many people are Christian. This is one. Lord Jesus Christ, have mercy on me. Lord Jesus Christ, have mercy on me. Lord, this is a Christian in the martial. Lord Jesus Christ, have mercy on me. I'm gonna tell you, I got books and books and books of these. Just only what you're asking for, books of them. And I would advise getting some of these because then you could be using them throughout the day. Like I am the resurrection and the life and the purity of the valley consuming flame. Say that over and over again. I am the resurrection and the life and the purity of the valley consuming flame. Over and over and over again. Or I am love. I am love. I am love. Or I am healing love. I am healing love. I am blessing love. You know, the sky's the limit of calling on good thoughts because they manifest no matter what. They will manifest.
Okay, for the body, what color flame to wash away emotional memories in the sexual organs? What energy would not basically transmute and restore purity to the areas of trauma?
Oh, I got one for you there, boy. Because I
And
use
family,
that.
I'm asking that because that's what the violet flame does.
Uh-huh.
You could say, I'm just giving a suggestion because, we're getting ready to close out. My womb is a womb of violet fire. My womb is the purity God desires. Men, you could do the same for your lingam or your whole pelvis. My pelvis is the purity of violet fire. My pelvis is the purity God desires. And then imagine violet flame because you have a lot of neophytes. You got new jacks in the audience, so you don't want to overwhelm them with complicated mantras. It's something simple. So you visualize yourself. Hold the amethyst crystal while you're doing this. Hold it over your pelvis.
Yes, I got a master crystal here. So if this brother or sister wants to be able to raise up their energy, like this one might be a little bit complicated, but beloved Maria and presence. This is a master crystal, has many, many qualities, right? Beloved Maria and presence. Raise the liquid light in my body and take it back into thyself to produce perfection forever. It's a powerful decree, right? Hold on. This one might be a little long, but I am the presence governing this energy and the only power that can raise it. I am the presence raising and transcending it, and that action is forever sustained. I am the presence doing this, and therefore it is done now. For God's activity is always instantaneous. You can play back this tape and get that. These I do every day to try to maintain celibacy. Beloved, beloved God presence, Divine Mother, Guru Ma, and Mahakundalini, please transform my lust into divine love and grant me the purity of celibacy, harmony, obedience to the words will of God, and divine character and personality. Beloved mighty and present, raise the liquid light of my body and take it back into thyself to produce perfection forever. That's a powerful one.
Give them something simple, something simple. Keep it simple for tonight. Something that they could walk with and sing or chant throughout the night.
I am the resurrection of life of my divine celibacy.
And what color should they invoke while they say that?
I would say I would invoke all 7 sacred flames because it's pretty easy to do, right? Like, I'm the resurrection of life of my divine celibacy, calling on the royal blue flame of the will of God, the golden yellow flame of illumination, the golden pink flame of cosmic love, the pure white ascension flame, the emerald green flame of healing and prosperity, the golden orange flame of the resurrection of life, and the violet consuming flame of invincible purity. I command this in my life, in my system. I mean, I'm
Okay.
going now, so you know.
So family, what Brother Lalji's saying is, and what I'm saying also is, you take whatever part of your body that you want to purify, you hold it in your hands. It's almost like you become a cosmic surgeon, and you just lift on the wings of your imagination, your whatever part of the body you want to purify. And then you go through the colors that Lalji was saying and the affirmations, because you are victory already. You are victorious, and you are greater than your memories. So, Princess Denise, we are greater than our memories. And your temple can be washed with the colors of purple, washed with the colors of red, yellow, orange, blue, indigo, green. You can wash your spirit clean. I would pull up that song, but they would say it's a copyright infringement.
Too bad.
This is what the family needs: remedies, simple remedies. If your thoughts is not clear from using a cell phone too close to your ear, take your head between your palms and give them an affirmation for clear thinking, Brother Lalji.
You know, I have. I will do this. I have decrees and prayers that we read every morning, and like I said, y'all can just contact me. The email, then I'll send them to you. I'll just simply send them to you. I also want to thank Celeste Hill for your donations. It's very much appreciated. Let me give you a nice one to clear the mind. And I have there's these very short ones. I'm looking for these very short ones. I see them every day.
Well,
And
while you're looking for that short one, here's something to work with, family. You are a master dream maker. So you take parts of your body and hold it in between your palms. You could do this for yourself. You can do this for someone else, where you actually take a part of that person and then inhale from your crown the purple light. This is just one technique. And exhale, imagine blowing purple into your pelvis, into your mind, to clear and access your divine. You use the power of breath and intention, keeping it simple.
what happened to
So
that?
you say, yes, my mind is a mind of purple fire. My mind is the purity my divinity desires. Yes, I am pure as amethyst crystal. And yes, I clear my atoms, electrons, and molecules to its original design. Yes, I am. And you hold your mind, or you hold your pelvis into the purple flames that you inhale from your crown. And you can put those, imagine in front of you that you burning a purple fire on your floor. And you put your hands together and put any part of your body that you want to purify from the memories of time, and burn it in the fire like you're doing a marshmallow, because we have the power of imagination to create the purification that we need. And you could do this for your parents. Imagine if you have trauma in your parents, You put your parents, imagine them being between your palms, and put your parents in the purple flame between your knees. And say, my mama and papa are beings of purple fire. They are the purity their divinity desires, even if they're an ancestor. Fire, fire, kun, purify and be, because we are dream makers, and this is our ascended master destiny.
under the or in the drawer.
And he's pulling up remedies, because this show is, we give you a little bit of philosophy, but we ain't gonna leave you without remedies. Before the show wraps up, we giving you a remedy of using the purple ray to do a hard drive erase on the cellular emotional level, to wash your spirit clean, starting from your feet. And imagine the violet flame rising up to your kneecaps, the purple light rising up your thighs. Yes, I am the purity of purple fire. And actually experience the flames burning away memories that is less than love. I am the purity my divinity desires. And see your pelvis burning in tongues of flame, washing away the memories, washing away the impact, so that you are a virgin again. You know, in Tantra, every time a woman has a moon cycle, she's considered a virgin. Every time a woman has her moon cycle, she is considered a virgin. Imagine that. Now, imagine if you would see men, imagine you seeing your loins being purple, and imagine a purification gauge saying from E to full, or from D, which is dirty, to P, which is pure. And imagine that the purple flame, as it's burning through your pelvis, your heart, your mind, as it slowly arches over to pure, using your imagination. Purify, amplify, activate, and transmutate. Go ahead, Brother Lalji.
This is a simple, sweet, and short. I am the mighty electronic energy flowing through, filling, and renewing every cell of my mind and body right now. Almighty I am.
Ashe, aho. And we got Paul Singh. He has a question. How do we, as a unity, one people, win what's happening around the world? You should have listened to the show last night, my brother Singh, Paul, because we was doing guided meditation, having the earth between our palms and the purple flame, our planet in a purple fire. This is what we do. We start with purifying ourselves, and then purifying the world with our imagination between our palms.
One people win what's happening around the world. This question to me seems a little out there. How do we, as a unity, one people win what's happening around the world? I'm wondering.
First, we got to clean up, clean shop.
Yeah.
Purple fire, and ask for the momentum of Saint Germain to activate and amplify more purple fire. See, here we go.
You know, the simple fact of the matter is, like, go to God. You know, pick whatever system of goodness or spirituality you like, and start going for it hard. You know, I have to reduce the time that I'm doing in the class that I'm giving, because the students are they got other things they want to do. I'm really trying to go for ascension, and I know that you can't get ascension by playing around. At this point, I can give what I can give to those people who are out there that want it, and like I said, it's one in 100,000. But if you really want to be ascended, if you want to be Christ-like, you can't be playing around. You have to take it to the butter. You have to take it. You got to go for it like your life depends on it, because it does. Because the next time you get a human birth, could be billions of years from now. Let me rephrase that. The possibility, the likelihood of you getting a human birth can be eons, and one eon is a billion years. So a few eons, you can expect that you'll get back here. And as an animal or any other kind of being that's less than human, and most births are less than this man-woman birth. You're not going to attain realization in that. That's not going to happen. You can forget it.
Yeah, but what we want to do, we don't want to talk about the negative of failure. We want to talk about the techniques of success. Lalji finishing it off with success techniques. So please show them before we close out techniques for success.
I'll tell you a simple technique. Although we were talking, this whole talk that I was giving today was that repeat the mantra. Repeat the mantra. A mantra takes you to God. There's a book here called Voice Figures. It was written in like 18 something. I just got a hardcover in the mail. This book is something they don't never want you to see. Why?
Show the cover, front cover again.
Hardcover.
Yeah, show it from the side because there's no title on the flat. Turn it sideways so we can see it.
Voice Figures. Elizabeth
Voice Figures. Come up closer to the screen. All right, go to your right. Hold it right there. Voice Figures. W. Hughes.
Hughes.
Hughes. What's that book about?
She made a machine that shows you what every sound you comes out your mouth or sound period produces. So if you say, and she proved this, she was in Italy, and a Catholic priest and a Sanskrit monk comes, and she tells them, say the mantra and that you have. And so the Catholic priest says Ave Maria in her voice machine, which is called an Ediphone. And what appeared was the Madonna and Child. Then this guy from India comes and he says a Sanskrit mantra. And not only did the God, but all the paraphernalia associated with that God appeared in that Ediphone. So you say the name of God, and what you're doing is you're evoking God. What? Om Namah Shivaya, Hari Om, Anala. It's easy to remember. Lord Jesus Christ, have mercy on me. You are evoking that God through the power of the spoken word. And what happens after a period of time, it merges with you. Matter of fact, it begins to merge and purify and cancel out all sins and karmas immediately. But over time, you become that God. That's the whole purpose of repeating that mantra. It's very simple.
Where did you find that book?
Oh man, I had this book a long time ago, and they just start printing it. They start printing it in India. They don't have the best printing presses, but you want this book. I felt that they took this book out of the system long ago because they don't want people. It's got Watts Hughes, Mrs. Watts Hughes, Voice Figures. Now, when was the copyright in this book? I know she wrote it in 1891, June 7th, 1891.
Okay, Voice Figures is the title, right?
Is the title.
And who's the author?
Hughes. Her name is actually Elizabeth Watts Hughes, but they got it here. Hughes, Watts Hughes, Watts Hughes, Hughes. And this is boom. For that brother, the question that you asked is a little obscure to me, but I would say the answer on the level that this course was tonight, that's the answer. We got to make ourselves the gods. Look, if we go into the battlefield, the spiritual battlefield as gods, they can't win. The sinister forces can't win, and they won't try because they know better. The evil forces know better than to come to the forces of good, especially if they're truly good. They don't play. So that's where you got to go. First, and a simple thing like Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. If you will sit and meditate, when you meditate, do this techniques. On the in-breath, Om Namah Shivaya. On the out-breath, Om Namah Shivaya. If you have some proclivity to any particular God, whether you're Muslim, Anallah, on the in-breath, if you're whatever it is, use the mantra of that system. On the in breath, take it in. On the out breath, and you'll go into meditations that'll be very, very, very deep. And how do we clean up the world? Clean up ourselves first. Clean up ourselves, and this will be a great thing. Also, in the mornings, there's an open class. It was every day. Now I'm eliminated. Instead of making it every day, I'm gonna make it every other day. And it was 3 hours. Now I'm gonna shorten it down to 2 hours because people can't handle that kind of thing. I'm doing 3-4 hours in the morning every morning. But what I'm realizing, and then there's gonna be a study group, and that's coming up soon. Studying high-powered science of the spirit, the science of man. That I was going to do uh, the I am presence, but I think what's going to happen is we're going to do thinking and destiny. What is that? The science of man. All right. Then there's the player consciousness by my guru Swami Muktananda, but that's on a high level, y'all. That's the level where no one has ever written about these things that he wrote about before. It was literally forbidden, but he wrote about it. He wrote about when you get to the blue person, and then the blue person merges with you. Who's the blue person? The Supreme Lord of the universe. Where is the Supreme Lord of the universe? Inside you. So, we're opening up a channel, and the thing to remember is things change. Nothing lasts forever. Take advantage of it. Take advantage of what's happening now. That my emails here, I'll send you this information you're going on. You can come to the class a week, a day, or whatever you need to get that information. I'll give the instructions in the morning. You can stay with it or go off on your own and use the knowledge. But seek out the knowledge. The reason why the masters and ascended masters love books so much because their words are in the book. Even though they may go away, their words are there for you to go back and read over and over and over again. And believe me, once you read these things over, you'll be saying to yourself, how is it that I forgot that? How does I didn't remember that? So powerful, so simple, and so clear. If the sex desire is strong in you, this is what to say. Ooh, let me go there, because somebody asked it. If the sex desire is strong in you, this is what to say. I probably already got it. And what page is that? Page 65. I told y'all. Mighty I am present. Take out of me that desire and replace it by your satisfaction and perfection. Ain't that deep? Man, this is really interesting. What volume is this? This is volume 7, The Great Cosmic Beings. They're cracking it right here. And it looked like this whole couple of pages is what he's saying. Beloved ones that never, never, never can be. All right, let's see. They have tried to use every possible excuse to make individuals believe they could use it for pleasure and still go on to perfection. I say to you, they're talking about the sexual desire. I say to you, beloved ones, that never, never, never can be. The encouragement of that mistake through the various avenues and the excuses that many teachers have made because that desire is strong within them is the greatest tragedy before mankind today. In other words, that you think that you're supposed to be wasting your divine fluids. On this page 35 of on page in volume 7, Ascended Masters, this page 33, they got a whole powerful thing. I say to you, and this is Sanat Kumar. This is Sanat Kumar dropping the gems. I say to you, beloved ones, that the use of tobacco in any form produces a secretion in the brain which will not permit its attunement beyond a certain point. The use of meat will fill your atomic structure. The use of meat will fill your atomic structure. Now notice this carefully. Will fill your atomic structure with fear. Whoa. I cannot take time to go into the details of this explanation, except to cite to you certain laws, just a fragmentary part of them. If you waste your sexual energy for pleasure gratification, then you have carried out of your body the energy from the presence, which you must have in order to maintain the courage and strength to call the presence into action and to hold to it until the human qualities which you have gathered about you through centuries have dissolved and disappeared. Do you know in the sex energy which mankind wastes are strength, courage, and confidence? Do you ever notice that people who waste this energy become fearful, weak, and filled with distrust and suspicion? Why? Because in the outpouring of that life, its waste, the courage and the strength which had already been gathered within the feeling world of the individual. In the waste of the sex energy, the individual throws away his strength and courage, for that is what goes out. The liquid light which flows through the nerves contains the courage and strength of life, which is feelings. This is powerful, super powerful. To hold that to here's another. Mighty I am present. Take out of me that desire and replace it by the satisfaction and perfection.
Also, family, you study the books by Montauk Chia, Cultivating Male Sexual Energy by Montauk Chia. And for women, get the book Cultivating Female Sexual Energy by Montauk Chia. And I think his wife wrote an edition back in the day.
Yeah.
So, Joey, just learning to, and then there's a technique of bringing back all those orgasms and soulgasms back to your navel, back through your sexual center. Y'all want me to share that as a remedy tonight?
You just
You
did?
imagine, you close your eyes, you imagine your sex chakra in front of you looking like a ice cream cone headlight of light red, pinkish red, spinning clockwise and counterclockwise at the same time. And you imagine your navel chakra spinning slightly orange, whitish orange light, spinning clockwise and counterclockwise. You visualize whoever you spent a lot of your seminal fluid, or women, whoever you spent a lot of your emotional sexual energy with. Imagine them being in front of you. And then imagine connecting their ice cream cone sex chakra to your ice cream cone sex chakra, and imagine a cord connected between the both of you, and imagine that cord becoming a walkway. And then call your soul essence back, your orgasmic soul essence back to you. It may come back in the form of a cloud. It may come back in the form of water. It may look like the little child in you that left you and went to that person, call that back. And imagine a gauge, like a gas gauge. And imagine as it comes back, and as you breathe and say, thank you, come on back home, you imagine seeing that gauge going from empty to full. And when you finish, say, thank you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you, ho'oponopono. And you imagine disconnecting clockwise, counterclockwise, and separating the sex chakra, and do the same exercise with the navel chakra. Connecting clockwise, counterclockwise. Imagine that bridge and call your essence back to you until your imaginary gas tank goes back from E to full. And then say, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you. And then disconnect. And then some of us may have to go down a whole timeline of multiple people that we've had experiences. But this is a way to put your gas tank of your atomic energy back into your fuel system to recharge your dilithium crystals. And I learned this freely from a student of Carlos Castaneda in California years ago. And it works. So that's a remedy for y'all tonight. And we're going to say night, night. It's almost 2 hours, bro.
Yeah. All right, my brother.
All right, bro. Night, night, y'all.
Saguna Maharaj Ki Jai.
Let me find that closeout music. I'm looking for it.
And if you get
What'd
them,
you say?
if they want these decrees and mantras and stuff, just text me. I mean,
Okay.
you know.
Cool. Peace out.